group of 7 leaders are in Japan for day 1 of the G7 summit. And a big topic, of course, is the war in Ukraine. U.S. President Joe Biden wants to arm the war-torn country with American F-16 fighter jets. This as the leaders agree that they must become less dependent on China. The G7 leaders laid wreaths in Hiroshima today, a Japanese city that, along with Nagasaki, was destroyed by a U.S. atomic bomb attack 78 years ago that ended World War II. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, who represents Hiroshima in Japan's lower house of parliament, said he chose the city for the summit in order to focus attention on arms control. The G7 called for a world without nuclear weapons, urging Russia, Iran, China, and North Korea to cease nuclear escalation and embrace non-proliferation. Russia's nuclear rhetoric and stated intent to deploy nuclear weapons in Belarus are dangerous and unacceptable, and Russia should return to full implementation of the New START treaty, the leaders said in a statement. At their earlier meetings of the day, the G7 leaders agreed to stiffen sanctions against Russia and pledged financial support for Ukraine, as its president Volodymyr Zelensky is preparing to join them in Hiroshima. Zelensky's presence and his calls for greater support for Ukraine in its conflict with Moscow will add drama and urgency to the gathering. The G7 leaders are already expected to announce new sanctions against Russia and closer collaboration in countering China. U.S. President Joe Biden's plan to train Ukrainian pilots on American-made F-16 fighter jets, surely to please Zelensky, who has been asking for this kind of more advanced and lethal weaponry. And on climate change, the G7, including the Netherlands and Chile, said that they must take the lead in phasing out fossil fuels, attempting to build momentum for a global deal this year to gradually quit oil, coal, and gas. The G7 believes that publicly supported investment in the gas sector can be temporarily appropriate, while countries are accelerating the phasing out of their dependency on Russia. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also had a brief chat with his Italian counterpart, Giorgia Meloni, calling out the country's stand on LGBTQ+ issues.
People need reassurance, people need to be included. Obviously, Canada is concerned about some of the positionings that Italy is taking in terms of the LGBT rights, but I look forward to talking with you about that because we're here at the G7 as an assembly of countries that are promoting the kinds of strong values and democratic principles that the world needs, and I always look forward to those conversations with you.
The summit continues this weekend.